Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at Solana, seeing what's going on. I want to wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving if that is something that you celebrate, and greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch me here today. We'll just make this quick, not going to make a ton of videos today, just making sure that we stay on top of some of the higher priority ones here. So with Solana, we want to take a look at some backend data here. Let's quickly do that. And then also just kind of help understand, what's going on with the backend. Again, when we look at Solana, we kind of want to recognize a few key factors, and liquidation is definitely one of those. Okay, so just kind of clarify, we got a strong concentration of shorts, hedged very strong at about $62.25. So 62.25, we get to that price action, the price should continue to shoot upwards from there. Our take profit target, from our community trade that we took roughly a couple days ago, we have a long that is taking profit roughly about 63 or 62.50, right in that range. Basically, as soon as we hit that level, we're going to be able to see the price move very, very fast. You do got to recognize, though, this is something important to note. This is the Solana chart, right? If we zoom in a little bit, and this is the Bitcoin chart. You see a similarity? Very, very similar behaviors between these two. Okay, so you got to recognize that the correlation between these two coins is distinct, and the probability of Solana moving concurrent with Bitcoin for the moment is extremely high. So, why is that relevant? Why is that important? It's just something you need to recognize and understand when coins align themselves with Bitcoin. It doesn't imply that it's 100% aligned and that Bitcoin dumps, Solana's going to dump, but it is pretty safe to presume that for the most part that's going to occur. Once more, Solana has proven to do very well for itself on its own. It can still break free because again, coins that align themselves with Bitcoin don't pair 100%, it's not like it's stuck, if you will. Okay, in other words, if Bitcoin ever breaks 38,000, is Solana ever going to break $58? That's the probability that connection being significant for a long time is very low, but for right now, it is moving fairly synonymous with it, and it's important to recognize that. All the more reason to watch some of my Bitcoin videos if you're kind of curious what Bitcoin's doing, because that is essentially the top dog there, letting us know that it's in control. All right, anyways, enough about that. Let's go ahead and talk about a quick couple things. Oh, friendly reminder too, make sure you sign up or register with Bitunix using my link. You get a free $20 just to trade trade futures this week from the 23rd to the 30th. So there's a little promotion we got going on right now with them. They have no KYC, no VPN. Awesome exchange. Be sure to check them out, link down below. What we want to talk about here on the daily though is that we are maintaining over 50 on the RSI, but money flow index is coming down. It's a very standard procedure, so nothing that's super concerning. In a perfect world, though, the RSI will continue to average itself out, hit 50, and then the money flow index comes down to this level, and that's when we want to buy the little sweet spot. Okay, that would be a perfect long position. Obviously, we're ways away from that. I'm not saying that's even going to happen, but that would be a good situation there. But suffice to say, the RSI being where it's at, not terrible. We're still maintaining above the 20-day SMA on the daily. Fantastic news. We do have half of a fair value gap left to be filled there at about 48.80. So again, I've got an alert set for that range, and that's where I would like to consider a long position if that were to come. Granted, we have a long position open now. I don't think we're going to be able to see that right away, but if that does happen, that's a decent place to get in because that was a previous high, and that's where the previous liquidity level was swept. So what we want to look at is the 4-hour time frame here and kind of identify a few important factors here. Okay, so when we talked yesterday, we were overextended to the downside, essentially kind of coming on our way back up there. Now, we also mentioned that passing above the 50-day set moving average was an important factor. We failed to do that here. Again, a lot of it has to do with Bitcoin kind of slowly tailing off from 37.5 to 37 even. But the key here is that we are underneath that 50-day SMA, and that's going to be somewhat of a resistance. Alternatively, though, we are over the 20-day SMA, and that's extremely important. That's kind of our short-term trend line, letting us know that we're in good shape there. We got the 100 coming up here to kind of save the day as well. So there's a decent chance we're going to have some support in that regard. We'll take a look here as well. We're kind of maintaining above 50 at the RSI. Money flow index is kind of plateauing. This is pretty standard stuff when you come up to a key level resistance. As we can see, and we've talked about previously, $58 is a very strong resistance level. So, getting through that, building that volume profile here is extremely important. And we're starting to get a lot more volume at this lower price point. So, in truth, I think the likelihood of breaking through that is fairly high. I think we're more likely to do so. You just got to keep in mind if Bitcoin dumps to 36, 30, 35, 34,000, Solana's going to take a hit. Okay, no matter how you look at it. And the reason why we identified them being concurrent is that if Bitcoin does sell off, Solana will too. You do got to recognize that right now. Okay, so there was a lot of times previously up until the last 3 or 4 days, Solana was moving up when Bitcoin's coming down or minorly being retraced. Now it seems to be fairly 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so all the more reason to pay attention to Bitcoin. But again, pending Bitcoin doesn't have a bad day, we should be in good shape to see this continue higher because most altcoins will start to persevere higher and do better than Bitcoin does if Bitcoin stabilizes and stays sideways. Okay. Again, a lot of it has to do with that Bitcoin dominance and the Bitcoin price scenario. If you're not familiar with that, I do actually have an education section on our Discord here, and I talk about this a lot. But lately we've been seeing a lot of altcoins dump because the price of Bitcoin was down while Bitcoin dominance was up. Okay, so again, different story altogether. In fact, why don't we quickly take a look at that? I know this isn't a Bitcoin evaluation, but it's important to recognize this. Bitcoin dominance is starting to kind of plateau and go sideways. Okay, and concurrently, Bitcoin price came down a little bit. So if we take a look here, Bitcoin dominance is stable and Bitcoin price comes down. We are looking at some alts coming down too with it. Okay, so once more though, if we can get Bitcoin to stabilize and increase, and the price of Bitcoin goes up, then we will see up or stable actions here from altcoins. Okay, again, those are some little back-end things to kind of keep in your tool belt to understand generally what's going on with this coin. Okay, so we summarized here that the 4-hour time frame has kind of some good stuff, but also not great. One thing we can identify here though, which is kind of cool. Again, we had this previous head and shoulders pattern. Just to clarify, we had the 2 shoulders and the price came down here, right? We've since broken that pattern. Since then, it does look like we have somewhat of a flaggish pattern here. Again, this is not definitive by any stretch, but as you can see the price action coming up here, working itself into a flag. There's a decent chance we can break above this descending trend here, that we're going to be able to continue to progress higher. A lot of times that'll bounce off key level supports. We're not there yet, but if we can break above 58, come back down to retest, I think we have a decent chance at this flag pattern coming through. Okay, so again, just something kind of to pay attention to, be mindful of. It's not 100% guarantees it's going to occur, but if we can have a little bit of stability from Bitcoin over the next couple of days, ideally this holiday weekend, which notoriously holiday weekends are pretty green, then we could very well see the price action of Solana increase. Okay, so last thing we want to look at here would be the cloud. This is what we were paying attention to earlier, and this is a positive contributing factor. While it's not phenomenal with our lagging span intersecting with the price action, telling us a long position, you may want to consider taking profits or closing your position. That's basically what it's telling us. We do have good momentum. We have the conversion line over the baseline, and we've got the actual cloud itself underneath the price action. Okay, that works as a support level, so it does imply here that $56, $57, a closure at that price point or higher today, would give us confirmation that we are still in decent shape. It doesn't give us confirmation to take a long position. Keep that in mind because that window of opportunity is closing. Nor does it say that you want to take a short. Okay, but you can also recognize that we are establishing lower lows and lower highs. But concurrently, if you look at the most recent time frame, we're making higher lows and higher highs. All right, so it really just depends on how you look at it. There's different perspectives here, but the truth is we have fairly conflicting information, so there's no definitive direction that we can kind of disseminate from here, right? This is not the concrete type of confirmation we are looking for. But good news is we have some confirming factors that are slightly more bullish than bearish, and to me that's a positive contributing factor. So again, those are my thoughts there. I'm curious about what your thoughts are. Comment below, let us know what in the heck your thoughts are. Do you think it's going to go up or down? Are we going to see 60 before we see 56? Or are we going to just continue to hang out here in this 57 to 58 range? I personally think we're going to see the price increase a little bit more, but a lot of it hinges on Bitcoin's success. If Bitcoin can just not be ridiculous for a couple days, I think we'll be fine. Okay. All right, folks, I hope you learned something here today. Again, jump on over to our exclusive offer here with Bitunix, phenomenal exchange, no KYC, no VPN. If you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. I offer trade signals. We have a nice little link chain trade there we have open right now. We took 31% in roughly 2 days. Keep in mind that is that trade is a it's a 5x leverage trade. Okay, so we're trying not to go too hard on that. If you're struggling with too much leverage, you might want to consider tapering off. Anyways, it's a problem nowadays. All right, so thanks again for watching. Happy Thanksgiving to you once more. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you all in the next one. Take care.